Now, G.I. Joe, or the American hero, is also known as Action Force if you are playing the British version. It's a story about a group of commandos fighting evil terrorists around the world. Now, there's one thing I need to put out. Action Force and G.I. Joe, which is a better name. I'm going for G.I. Joe not because it sounds cooler, not because of screaming Yo Joe, but I'll just put it this way. What does G.I. Joe mean? GI actually means ground infantry. Soldiers, they are on the ground holding their guns. The backbone of all military. Joe means everyone, which is every Jack you're talking about in Britain, but in American is called Joe. Anyway, the game starts as you are in the command center talking to a guy with a strange helmet. I'm not sure, is this Dr. Manito? Okay, main Cobra base, will attack it. So who I'm going with? Now this game actually wants you to, let's say, apply some strategy and thinking, because you will be picking specific commandos to attack the certain base, and each commandos have different abilities. Now you are being forced to take Duke is one thing, but eventually you'll be taking Duke and Snake Eyes into almost everything. Why? Because their abilities are always the best. Duke is your normal average guy who knows how to use the gun, and Snake Eyes is just put is a commando mission. You would definitely bring a ninja with you here and there. So the game started that you're being dropped off the APC and you start running around. Now, if I want to make a complaint over here is Duke does not look like Duke, for he is, let's say, the guy without the helmet, and Duke here is wearing a helmet, fighting Manta Rays and Cobra commandos who are running towards him. Let's say Duke can't jump very high, but eventually you'll be using Snake Eyes to just jump high to get that power. And just let you know, these powers are all very important, and you let's say need to strategize on when to take it and who to use it. Why? The power increase the person's ability on using certain type of weapons, and for the ammunition actually means that you are using guns and your bullets are limited. So most of the time you'll be using your punches to solve problems. Well, my other friend actually prefer to use Snake Eyes because he'll be using cutting and, let's say, the saber cuts to, let's say, deal with all problems. And like the previous Batman games, taking down these individuals one by one is necessary. Now, as you can see, we are taking out BATs, battle androids of the battle android troopers of Cobra Command. But as I can recall, actually, the battle androids are tough units or commando units which are seldom used on battles. So what the hell? I'm taking down a Condor. Yes, that is Condor, a Cobra Command heavy, or let's say stealth bomber. Imagine a B1 with much more attitude and have a fighter as his back. Yes, that is the fighter part of the goddamn bomber, who can disattach and attack you for no reason. If I'm not mistaken, the idea was using the front part as a kamikaze missile, while the back part can, let's say, bring the pilot back to safety. But I'm here taking it down with a gun, which sounds strange, but actually is true, because in G.I. Joe, the cartoon or the movie, most of the time you are using your infantry to take down, let's say, high power, let's say, dangerous weapons. Okay, now we are fighting at desert level. Now, Duke's ability was able to shoot in various directions, and his guns are much more powerful. And if you want to talk about Duke, what is his special ability in the game itself? Not in the game, in the, let's say, in the comics or in the movies. Duke is more like the commander of the group. Although his rank is sergeant and not very high, but since he's the best or most experienced field commando, most of the time people listen to him when he's, let's say, calling shots. Just let you know that is what Duke does. Actually, when it comes to, let's say, military rank, right, he is not that high. His rank is actually as high as Roadblock, the heavy machine gunner, which everyone loves. Just let you know that there is a lot of, let's say, young players who have no idea about what G.I. Joe stands for, and to me, as a G.I. Joe fan, I didn't knew this until I actually looked into their military backgrounds and, let's say, information, which is kind of fun, and actually I should have done that, because after all, G.I. Joe is based on military. Why should I be looking into those stuff? Now, that is what I can say about Duke, and he is definitely, let's say, a fanboy of everyone. And compare him to Hawk, who is much more likable. Definitely Duke is. Although Hawk is the commander, but he is usually mission control and seldom going into fight. As for comic book fans, you do know later Doc that Hawk had a one terrible fight with Cobra Commander, and he sort of went paralyzed and has to be wheelchair bound as he was Barbara from Batman, and she became Oracle. That's what happened to Hawk. Just let you know that. And you can see here's one thing that's interesting is, oh god, I'm fighting Raptor. Now for those who don't know who Raptor is the Indian, not the Indian from Asia, the American Indian that serves this Cobra Command. His ability is to tame various flying birds, which is kind of scary. Just imagine if you're G.I. Joe, you're gonna, let's say, air raid a place with fighter and bombers and thousands of hawks like a swarm attacking you, and your missiles and guns are not gonna help you. That's kind of scary. And if those people think that I'm criminalizing or let's say discriminating Native Americans, just let you know, in Joe there's Tunnel Rat, in Joe there's Spirit, who are also G.I. Joe, let's say the good guys. So you cannot say that all the bad guys. There are a lot of pale face in Cobra Command. As for ninjas, just put it this way, Snake Eye is the main runner, or let's say main ninja of G.I. Joe. His sworn in brother, or lately his senpai or Hokon, I don't know who's over here, is Storm Shadow, who is as you can know, a Cobra Command's ninja or commando unit. Well, in the later versions, the two actually made up and Storm Shadow came back to join this G.I. Joe. But for most fans, actually, that didn't happen. And that shouldn't have happened because, just put it this way, it need to be balanced, okay? We have a ninja here and definitely a ninja over there. Okay, now let's use back to Duke since his guns are much more efficient over here. Now, the character I'm fighting over here is not a character. Based on what I found out, he is a range Viper. Vipers are just normal infantries of Cobra Command, but a range fighter is a special commando that, let's say, fights in jungles. Yeah, I know range it should be much more like a sniper unit, right? Turned out it wasn't so. But anyway, for when I was a kid, I kept on thinking that was Firefly, who used to be a range Viper himself. So no complaints here. Maybe that time when they created this game, they haven't actually came out with a name for Firefly, so they just call it Range Viper. Alright, now let's see. Metalhead guy is giving us an mission to Antarctica. Well, I think he's gonna, let's say, let Blizzard lead the pack, right? Yeah, Blizzard is gonna lead the pack. Anyway, so what are we bringing? Duke is a good idea, definitely, because it's guns and Storm Shadow again. Yeah, most of the time you'll be these two guys. Now, one may wonder how come there are so many, let's say, characters in G.I. Joe. Yeah, Blizzard is definitely a, let's say, a snow infantry is going to slide everywhere. Now, why are there so many characters in G.I. Joe? Actually, there's a reason why. Remember I told you before, the word Joe means everyone. In other words, it's a hero for everyone. Everyone can be a hero. Unlike in Marvels where everyone is in S.H.I.E.L.D. is an asshole, is not going to do any work, everyone in G.I. Joe has a special ability. Every one of them knows something, and every one of them have a chance to shine. Although I'll be mostly using Duke because it's easier to use. Yeah, using Blitz, you can Blizzard, you can let it slide through here very fast and easily. But I prefer the gun, sorry about that. But that is the matter of G.I. Joe. At certain circumstances, you will really want that guy to shine. So everyone's a hero story. There's no specific heroes because everyone is needed. Everyone counts. That is why G.I. Joe is so popular among us. Not to say that G.I. Joe is a very big American, let's say, anti-other countries jingoism idea, but why this jingoism idea works. For you see, oh my god, again I'm fighting a vehicle, and this time I think I'm fighting a Sea Ray, right? Yeah, this is a Sea Ray, is a much skipper vehicle. Why is it, let's say, in Antarctica? Never mind, to stop going to fight an Ice Viper or something, but just let it be. Now the Sea Ray is one of the scariest vehicles you can see in Cobra Command. Not to say it's scary, but it's easy to take down. Yeah, I mean, Sea Rays are easy to take down in combat. The more pneumatic Sea Rays come in large numbers. Oh man, this is a range viper. Although it's a range viper, but I think I remember his name. That guy is Metalhead. And finally we get to pilot one of our vehicles. This is one of the G.I. Joe's most common combat helicopter, which is you can use everywhere. Now, if there's any vehicle for me that I like in G.I. Joe, as a you guys know, as I mentioned before, I was a Top Gun fan, so definitely the fighters is what I like, which they seldom use. More than they use helicopters because hey, ground infantry use more helicopters than other vehicles. Not gonna blame them. For me, it's the Conquest Fighter, not Sky Striker. Well, if you can see, this helicopter is so small that everyone is using it, including Cobra Command. Yeah, you'll see this copter a lot, but can this copter be used in real life? Not necessary, it's too dangerous. After all, the exposed cockpit just allow the person to be killed. Furthermore, a copter's idea is to carry weapons with me, and the only weapons I'm carrying with is my guns. Not a good idea. And you can see other version of this, let's say flying helicopter thingy in GTA, but this was actually being made famous in G.I. Joe. And there's one thing good about this copter while playing this game is your copter, you are allowed to shoot your guns in various directions, spraying in a very odd way of put the hell, but yeah, that is why people love this game. And that's why the people love this copter, but this copter was not really that easy to maneuver, so in the later games it was being removed. Now you will notice I'm let's say moving around, let's say stepping these machines to walls. What are these? Now these are bombs. Okay, now my behavior is a little bit like terrorist like, but since you're taking down a military building, right? The best way is to take from inside, and by doing that you cause less casualties. Unlike these terrorists who actually was put on, let's say, innocent civilian buildings, we are putting it on military buildings, so no one cares. And if you're taking a military building, if let's say take out by fighters, it's actually kind of dangerous. You let's say hurt a lot of innocent beings. But if a bomb from inside, you can take sure everything's out, and only those who are responsible are hurt. Now some will say, hey, how about a guy was only sending food delivery to these guys? Why are you sending food delivery to let's say evil criminals? You should have done that. Okay, what the hell is this? I need to check for a while. Oh, this is a bus ball. Oh, we'll be seeing the bus ball later. I'll explain it later once we run into them. Okay, let's go to the next mission and see what we are doing with. Oh yes, Metalhead. This guy used to be Destro's personal guard. And since you're so awesome, Destro told him, let's say, lead a group of soldiers and let's say go and let's say kill some G.I. Joes for me. Which he did in the comic and is quite efficient, and not mistaken, Scarlet was killed by him. And I think he did paralyze Kabuko. Was this thing as never mind. He was one of the most threatening characters in the comic version. But when it comes to the, I'm gonna say, animation or cartoon version, right? He becomes a comic relief who is a missile or rocket shooting weirdo which throw his rockets here, boom boom here, bang bang there, hitting everyone he does and can. That was Destro for us and not Destro for the comic readers. So it was kind of disappointing to see Destro going there. And you can see I'm moving a bus ball over here. I'll be talking about bus ball later because this is kind of a fun vehicle. Okay, let's kill Destro. Now, this fight shouldn't be tough because I already have upgraded Duke's gun until it's very OP, which is most of the time we do a game and he's dead. So, yeah, you take a shot off to kill him. So that's it. Now, we will be looking into the further missions of G.I. Joe in our coming series. Sorry, this is a long one because there's so much to talk about and will be one hell of a 3-parter. See you then.